You could probably identify your favorite guitar player after hearing only 2 or 3 notes, just like you can recognize your best friend's voice on the phone. If there's one thing that defines a player's musical voice, it's their phrasing. But what is phrasing? When it comes to speech, everyone has things that are unique to them. The timbre of their voice, their vocabulary, their pacing and cadence, and the words they emphasize and stretch. They may have other defining speaking habits too, like repeating themselves, or taking long pauses, or the opposite, rushing through sentences. Their voice may be melodic, or they may sound monotone and uninspired. When it comes to guitar, your unique phrasing results from the amalgamation of your note choices, motifs, your motif development, pacing, articulation, timing and the manipulation of time, dynamics, and anything else that you use to be expressive on your instrument. Taken together, this phrasing is how you speak to the audience through your performance. If you feel like phrasing is a weakness, here's a fun exercise that'll make you aware of what defines the phrasing of other people. Pick out 2 humans you admire. One should be a person whose speaking voice you like, and the other, a musician whose solos you love. The speaking person has to be someone you can get a recording of speaking. It could be a relative, an actor, a politician, whatever. Just make sure their speaking is something that you feel is unique. Pick out 3 or 4 successive sentences and listen over and over. Really dig into how their voice sounds and take notes. Are they melodic in their speaking? Do they have a regional accent that makes them shape vowels in a particular way? What's their vocabulary like? Do they stretch out certain words or use a lot of pauses? Do they emphasize certain words? Do they sound animated or smooth? You get the idea. Spend 5 or 10 minutes on this and write down as many notes as you can about what you think defines their voice. This is the warm-up for part 2 of the exercise. This gets you thinking in a certain way. For part 2, pick out 3 or 4 successive lines played by the soloist you love. Listen the same way you did to the speaking voice over and over. Ask all the same questions, even the vocabulary one. This is pretty revealing, informative, and helpful in your own development for when you start picking apart your own phrasing. Fretboard Biology spends a lot of time talking about how a good solo is about storytelling. But you can be a better and more expressive soloist and storyteller if you understand that good phrasing is a combination of motif development, combining articulation devices, and all the other components we just discussed. If we play long enough and care about how we sound, we all develop a voice. But why not help that along with some critical listening to those you admire and then of yourself?